Newsflash is brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fee.
Hello there. Thanks for staying with us here on Prime Morning. It's time for us to get into Newsflash. Here we look at issues that concern you. And of course, today we're looking at two major issues. So we'll be looking at the report that has been sent to the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, by the committee for oral. We'll also be looking at the Kumasi fires and see what we can do about these issues. We'll check on majoonline.com to find out what has been reported in terms of what the portals or the newspapers are saying this morning here on the show. I've got my guests seated in the studio already. We say a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise, still phones Papa Pafi, and this morning kindness courtesy Franco Trading. We've got Newsflash here on the show. We still want you to patronize them. Make sure that you're buying from them. Franco Trading Enterprise has got the very best when it comes to home appliances. We're talking about your television screens, the biggest you can find. We're talking about refrigerators. We're talking about phones and accessories. And don't forget that we're giving 40% discount to all the accessories you buy from us anytime you visit Franco Trading Enterprise. Please do call us on the numbers you see on your screens. Do not pick any number on social media to speak to us. Do call the numbers that you see on your screen. You can also download the app as the Franco Trading app on Google Play Store. And then you can also check on our website. It's www.francotrading.com, and you can get all the info you need over there. The branches, the products we have, CCTV cameras. If you want to look at the times, you can monitor anywhere at any time on your phone. It's very simple for you to do so. So please do well and check us out, and you will not regret it. Franco Trading Enterprise says still phones Papa Fee. And Candice Candice, Franco Trading, we've got Newsflash this morning. Once again, you can send your messages to us. Let us know what you think about the issues we're talking about this morning here on the show. The report has been sent. So the Attorney General has taken over what makes of the situation. A lot of people have started complaining already whether there's going to be anything coming out of what ORA has been able to do within the period that it was instituted. We'll be looking at over 2,417 cases that have been submitted to them. And out of that, if you're looking at what the Okujotoa Blackwood said, we've got potential of making some substantial amount of money from those alleged corruptions, if indeed those issues are able to follow throughout to the very latter. So we'll be looking at that. And so you can share your thought with us here on the show. Do you think we'll be able to retrieve all those monies, or it's just one of those rhetorics? We'll just talk about it and nothing happens. In the studio this morning, I've got my guests here with me. Let me introduce them, and then we'll move to the portal, and then we'll come back to the major issues here on the show today. Honorable Awantiri Matabuade is here with us this morning. He's former MP for those North. Honorable, how are you doing? Good morning.
I'm doing well, KMJ. It's been some time.
Yeah, I took a break a bit.
Okay.
And then, I resumed this.
That's good. You are looking great. And let me say good morning to Honorable and to our viewers out there. We cherish you every morning that you watch us and try to contribute meaningfully to the development of the program and for the country. Let me say hello to a good friend of mine in Kumasi called Ramatu watching us. He has never watched the program, but he said today he watched. And to my family too, and to all people who have been sending messages to inquire about why I've not been appointed.
We're about to see the biggest demonstration.
So I want to just tell all them, I cherish what they appreciate. The fact that when a lot of people are concerned about you, it means that they admire the work you do and your contribution to national development and so on. So I want to tell them to calm down.
We're not calming down for that one.
There's obviously light at the end of the tunnel.
We want to see the light
and they will
now.
smile at the end of it and smile good and we'll move together. We want to wish the people of this country a better future as we embark on the resetting of the Ghana agenda. So,
very well. Thank you very much for your time this morning. I'm most grateful. And Honorable Michael Kwasi Aidoo has also joined us this morning here on the show. He's the MP for Furikrum constituency. Good morning, Honorable. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm very great. This morning I want to say good morning to all your viewers, especially the good people of Furikrum watching me this morning. I was in the constituency over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
There's been some fire incidences in my constituency.
Yeah.
So I visited the victims involved in both Ayiduase and Ofurukrum. And subsequently, I joined the Kumasi caucus to visit the fire victims in Swami Magazine. Yeah. And it was quite a spectacle because if you see the number of people involved and the damage caused, the ravaging effect of the fire, you cannot even quantify the amount.
Yeah.
And I say sadly that as a country, it's about time we sit down and find a solution to this problem.
We should. And I think it's one of the issues that we'll be looking at. And since Honorable is coming from the constituency, I'm sure he'll be able to profess some solutions that we can all, just because it's just too much. And it begins almost every year when we begin the year and people are trying to find their daily bread. Look at what happened here in Accra as well. So it's something that we really have to take a look at. And so we'll be getting into it. But let's check out a few of the stories that have come up with regards to the portals. MyJoyOnline.com is reporting on some issues, and it says MPP had 8 years to secure convictions, so why blame Mahama? Shamima Muslim quizzes. That's a very big question mark over there. All set for Council of State elections today. 522 to vote in 16 regions, and also military engineers visit Sukwal to address dangerous school route for children. Omanibuama speaks on that. Akufo-Addo was a clearing agent. We must demand accountability, Shamima Muslim. And University of Ghana graduates to receive degrees without medals and scroll holders. And Marx-led group makes a $97.4 billion US dollars bid for a charter GPT maker, OpenAI. That's also reported over there. Now, away from that, let me see what we have over here. Judiciary hasn't been fair to NDC for 32 years, Kwasi Aidoo insists. And justice not need endless trials. Kweku Azah speaks on dropped prosecutions, and also over 30 solar SHS students suspended indefinitely for indiscipline. And South Africa law at center of Trump role challenged in court. That's also captured over there. All right, so that's on the myjoyonline.com, and let's see if we can get to Aidoo Online and find out what has been reported over there as well. And of course, Aidoo Online is also reporting on the Council of State elections today, and it says 155 to contest in 16 regions. And also, away from that, let's get to why most soldiers no longer live in the barracks. There's a report on that. Gunmen killed 5 critically injured in bus attack at Bazua, and Ghanaian fisherman killed in Ireland. Oral Committee presents report to Mahama, and that's one of the issues that we're looking at this morning here on the show as well. And Multimedia Group kicks off 30th anniversary celebration with Thanksgiving service last week. This one happened. It was a beautiful scene. We've been 30 years and still counting. God has been good to us, so we're celebrating that. And I want you to be a part of that as well. So, yeah. This one, why I don't pity the defense minister. Former minister discloses, and some people planned a coup in Ghana in 2019. Anita Wool says so. Eastern Regional Minister assures swift intervention for a Sukwal River crossing. And you can't be defense minister without the president's trust. Anita Wool says so. That's on AidooMonline.com. So you can also go there and check out any of the stories over there, and then you can read about them as well, both AidooMonline.com and MyJoyOnline.com. This morning we're here and want you to be a part of that. We're streaming live on Facebook, so you can go there and drop your messages in real time. We'll have time to read all your messages, and so you can send them right now. What do you make of oral? The final presentation has been done. The president has received, is handed over to the Minister of Justice, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Dr. Ayeni, and he's actually instructed, he was very firm on that he wants to see some results happening with regards to that. Is it going to be the case, or is it going to be the same rhetoric that we've seen over and over again? Now, we're going to begin off with that story. Now, don't forget that it was over 2,417 suspected cases that were actually, found in case of the complaints that actually came. Out of that, we had 924, which were emails, and 1,493, which were actually calls. So this is how they got to the 2,417. And we can actually retrieve over 21.19 billion from 36 of the cases, which according to Okujeto Ablakwa, they have been able to follow through those cases. And so if the Attorney General takes over those cases, we're likely going to be making 21.19 billion US dollars as a country. So yeah, that's what it is. Let me start off with you, Honorable. A lot of people think, and I've seen Manasseh write very long epistle, I want to call it, about the president, and he actually referred that he's also started being a clearing agent. Some people have actually disagreed in various forms. So what we have seen with oral, do we think that we have got the potential of following these cases to the latter, or is it still going to be the same situation we've seen over the period?
Well, yesterday I followed the news of oral submitting their findings to the president, and I must say it's good. But it's early days, because oral had raised concerns about following the legal framework that the Constitution provides. Yeah. Because oral is does not have any investigative powers. And people were of the view that if care is not taken, they will start to enter into areas where they will start to abuse the rights of people, because, you know, the Constitution in Article 14 provides that people should have their rights and liberties protected. And quite interestingly, we have institutions mandated to establish or conduct investigations. That is the police service, the CID. We have IOCO, even SHRAJ has some powers
to do so.
They can do so. Today, we also have the Special Prosecutor's Office and all that. Before even you add the Attorney General's Office. Then it's good to know that ORA has submitted this work, and this work is going to be submitted to the Attorney General. But the question that begets is that if they knew that eventually they will submit it to the Attorney General, then why ORA? Because we could have used the CID to do investigations, and then the Attorney General will take over. And what is happening is it's beginning to look like ORA was set up because there was a campaign promise to investigate something. And for the optics, they
needed ORA to achieve that.
At least for the optics, they needed to establish something that people will follow, but not necessarily to go for the real deal. At the end of the day, the ball is still in the court of the Attorney General. Whatever investigation that has to be thoroughly done will have to be done by the Attorney General. Quite interestingly, it got to a point where I remember clearly when Honorable Afenyo Markins, the leader of the minority, established that he has seen drones over his private property.
Okujeto denied that. There's never been any situation that
he denied it, but the gentleman said he has seen them in his private property, taking pictures and so on. And just about the same time, when Okujeto came to the vetting, he queried that the honorable man had a property in Winneba. If you are not sending drones there, how would you know he had a property? For I've seen pictures and videos of the property circulating online. What is doing is that it's taking my mind back to the PNDC days, where people were even accused without fair trial, where people were, judges were taking, people were, there were these prejudicial killings and so on, because people were suspected to own things or to have acquired some properties, and then they were taken through processes that did not even have a fair hearing or fair trial, and they were just judged. And today, some of the things, the atrocities that were done to people, if you look back, you marvel and say, are these the reasons why these people were killed? And in the same vein, I think the NDC has to watch it carefully, because they are establishing something that has happened in history before. They trial people in public opinion before even the people are committed to any legal process. Yes, because what the ORA did was they published people's names, and yesterday I listened to someone forcefully making the argument that if you are not careful, what ORA would have done is to create a situation for the government to have a lot of defamation cases. Because when you publish people's name and adduce guilt or adduce some crime to them, and then eventually it comes out that there is no crime in there, the next step that the person will take is to file a defamation case to clear his name.
Was it not because they were very clear with regards to the investigation they did before the names came out?
Yesterday,
remember that they opened up for people to send them some of these information.
No, but some of the
investigations were carried.
The Constitution outlines how investigations should be carried, how some of these mandated agencies have been trained to carry out investigations properly so that they don't infringe on the rights of people. You see, in Article 19 of the Constitution, it says that it outlines fair trial, and it includes the presumption of innocence until proven guilty.
That process will be followed through.
No, but if you look at oral critically,
it has already been done.
It's already, people have been, you go out and people's names are being bundled in the airwaves and in various circles that they are looters and so on. Quite interestingly, yesterday, I was listening to the submissions of Honorable Kujeto Ablakwa, and in his remarks, he made a point that they were going to engage to review some of the land acquisitions to see if the people will pay fair market value. Now, this is a situation where you say these people are looters, they have looted. What is the definition of looting? It's like taking something by force without due process, or you take something that does not belong to you. Okay? You claim they are looters. If they are looters, then why would you even go and sit with them and discuss, renegotiate fair market value? What constitutes fair market value? A government or a state institution advertises for an acquisition to be done. Somebody applies, it's fairly sold. The person has established the amount that they want to sell the whatever product it is or whatever property it is. The person puts in an application and purchases it, and a lease or title has been granted. Everybody knows the processes that one goes through to secure lands or properties. Once a lease or title has been granted, it means that the person went through the right processes. So now when you go back, there's the case of, I remember the former chairman of MPP in President Kufuor's first government, Jacob Chibilamte's case, where the court ruled on behalf of Jacob Chibilamte that he had secured the property through fair means, okay. And during that time, these same things happened. And when you go back into history, look at the East Legon Enclave. It used to be called Ambassadorial Enclave. Kwame Nkrumah dedicated that enclave for development by the embassies. That was where the ambassadors and the various embassies were going to stay. If you go to other countries, they have similar developments. Like Brazil, they have an area demarcated just for embassies. And Kwame Nkrumah did the same thing for the East Legon Enclave. Go into history, go into Lands Commission and find out what period that those lands were allocated to politically exposed persons. Look at the Atomic Energy Enclave. That whole Hachu enclave to atomic energy, it was called the National Rabbitry Enclave, where Kwame Nkrumah decided that they were going to rear rabbits and use the fur of those rabbits to produce coats so that they can export it. Look into history and find out those who owns the whole Hachu enclave. That whole enclave was released to various individuals. Releasing lands to various individuals, including politically exposed persons, had happened since the Fourth Republic, when Flight Lieutenant John Rawlings became president till date. In Rawlings' time, it happened. In President Kufuor's time, it happened. President Kufuor started this whole redemarcation of the various areas like cantonments so that they'll be able to, let's say there's a land situated on a 2-acre, there's a building, small building situated on a 2-acre land, and then they redemarcate it, give it out to private people so that they can redevelop it. And now when you pass through cantonments and other places, you see that developments are taking place, the place has changed, the area view has changed, the place has been facelifted and all that. And it supports the growth of the economy. It supports the growth of the country. Today, quite interestingly, go to Boteman. It was revealing during the vetting that even during the last NDC government, members of the then majority were allocated lands there. That was when the Honorable Minister Muntaka came out, and even Honorable Rashid Pepo, they came out that, yes, they were allocated. And I've listened to the former Minister for Interior, Defense, opined that he was allocated 2 plots of land there because during that time he was a deputy minority ranking member, a deputy minority leader. He was allocated 2 plots of land, but at this point he didn't take it. And a lot of members of parliament were allocated lands in Boteman, just as other government appointees.
Okay.
So it begets the question that why do we have people now trying to accuse people as if they have wrongfully taken the land by force, possessed it by force, whilst it was rightfully allocated to them, and they went through due process to secure it. But most importantly, nobody is saying that don't go after people who have committed any crime. Yes, it is right that we go after people who have committed crime so that there's sanctity in the political space, so that people will come to office with the mindset that they are coming to serve
the nation
and to develop the nation, so that the country can develop, so the youth will have cause to have some hope and all that. But then we shouldn't create a witch hunting process where just some few days ago, we have the president clearing people that are presumed or people that are already in the courts defending their
settling
issues.
cases,
Settling cases. The president clears all of them, everybody. What does the president, what signal is the president sending out? That is why you get people saying that he's now the chief clearing agent.
Okay, Honorable, hold on your thought for me for that. Let me get to Honorable Atabwadi. I'll come back to you again. Honorable, is that what is happening now?
Let me start from where he
chief clearing agent.
You see, let's be honest in this country. My brother, the power to exercise what we call nolle prosequi, that's not the first time it has been used. The power to clear people when they are politically persecuted than prosecution is not the first time. It was exercised by Kufuor. It was exercised by the former president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, when he cleared other people who were being prosecuted under the Rawlings regime. And so
you see this as persecution instead of prosecution?
Yes, it is not a matter of clearing. The right to justify or to juxtapose that name that the Akufo-Addo and as a clearing agent in this country will not wash. It will not wash because you had 8 years to prosecute people if you had evidence. Evidence that is built on concrete structure, you would have prosecuted. You don't need 8 years to send someone through the whole caboodle of the trials. If you follow due process, we saw an attorney general telling Jakpa that he should go and get a fake medical report for a member of parliament to be convicted because the president and Colonel Foriata was on him. This has been admitted as evidence. In court, it has been admitted as we talk. The tape is
that's a forcing case.
And that's a forcing case. So you want such a fellow to be prosecuted or persecuted. In the case of Opuni, how long Opuni's passport has been seen, he cannot even do anything. While you are talking about that prosecution, also understand that the rights of all these people that has been yanked under your government, their rights were being abused. They were asking JH question to be going to court, daily trials. We can go on and on. But how did we come there? If you had concrete facts, you had all the opportunity. The people of this country supported you. You couldn't try the people. How? And it cost the government and the people of this country to continue to persecute people using the judiciary. It costs money, it costs time, it costs a lot of things. And when you do that and then you come and then another come, how would the government be called or looked on if you don't have your facts? If the facts are clear, you cannot file a nolle prosequi.
So all of the cases that we had, they all fell under that.
All the cases the previous government gave
them through.
All the cases that the Akufo-Addo administration and then Kufuor gave the nolle prosequi, did they give reasons? The Attorney General would have to examine the document, the docket, and see whether is it prosecutable.
Some of them.
Definitely, you know, Dr. Ayeni, and you know how hardworking he is. He cannot just go and close a case. The case must be a case that you can prosecute to get results. And no one
didn't have any of such.
We didn't have any of such. The case was with them. Amanda asked them because they were prosecuting the case for 8 years. 8 good years you have been on a case. You could not adduce evidence to even send them to what we call remand cell. Even remand. a whole attorney general comes to call, what do you call it, someone who is being tried, then you ask him to go and procure a fake medical report in order to jail someone. In order, the attorney general would have resigned. You know it. Is that what we are prosecuting the people of this country for? People who have worked hard. In any case, like he said, I am not saying that if they had committed a crime against the state, they should not be prosecuted. You take them through due process. Look at your facts. Would you be able to send them to jail? Remember, we also did it before when we were in power. We sent some people to jail. We sent the people to the court, and it was thrown out for lack of evidence and so on. That is why before you come to court as an attorney general, your cases must be meticulously investigated. When it's investigated, you have your facts, watertight facts, and when you come before the judiciary, they'll be able, 4 years is enough for you to jail someone. It's almost going to 10 years, 8 years. So for me, that is the issue. You see, first of all, like my brother said, the oral team is a promise that we did, and it's in our manifesto. So no wonder when the president came to power, by 18th December, he had put up the oral team. And it must be told and clear that, look, for the fight against corruption itself is mutational. It changes its colors. And people, as the day passes by, with technology and with other persuasive persona, what they do is that they pass behind the door and then get corruption. So all institutions that are investigating corruption must be multifaceted. It can be the CID can be investigating, Yoko can be investigating. In fact, the Office of the Special Prosecutor can equally investigate the same case. So at the end of the day, if you miss a point, this guy will get a point, and that so that the case becomes concretized. And then when you are presenting the facts before the judges of this country, before the judiciary, you have a concrete case. So for my brother saying that it's witch hunt, if there are witches, we must hunt them. In any case, talking about the lands, let me start from talking about the lands. Where this land openly bidded for, I am in government, and my brother, you've come. Sometimes, because you're in government, people say, Charlie, I've seen this land. They will go to the, what do you call it? The Lands Commission. They'll go and get this land and pay pittance. Look at the value of cantonment land. Where I stay, a land is costing over $100,000. That is Sakomono. And look at lands at cantonments, where they took them. Government, big acres, not the ordinary, the 100 by 50 or by 70 measurement they do. Then you go and pay 400, you go and pay 42,000, 100,000. When the real value, when valuers put it at $600,000, go to cantonments now, go the ordinary to go and buy a land. And you see how much it costs. Laboni cantonment will know how much it costs. Then government officials who have been elected to protect public property, listen to me, to protect property in the name of the people of this country. We have given them entrusted power to ensure that they jealously guide our resources in terms of cash and in terms of other resources. They turn around to appropriate this into themselves in a very insulting way. And I don't know, at the end of the day, you know what they tell you and I? We are self-made people. We are, so that's why I have a house at Cantonments and you have a house at in Sawam. These politically exposed persons would appropriate the things to themselves, turn around, insult you and I. And that they have houses at Cantonment. Their children are in Harvard. And then they were your classmates. You know that guy cannot be in Harvard. When you know his capacity, but because of political connection, that's where they are. Don't let us allow these people to go with their loot.
So we're going to see it through.
We are going to see it. And then, my brother, the oral team was not investigating corruption. It was an office for people to bring in, and that is what they did.
It is believed that the CID could have also done
second, which one?
They could have also, the CID could
That's
have done
why I said that in the fight against corruption,
we've opened up,
in the fight against corruption, the fight against corruption, we must have multi-institution to investigate. First of all, what is different from what the oral team is? The one and other said that be citizens and not spectators.
That's what the oral sought to do.
That is all. That's the meaning of Nanado's statement when he said that be citizens and not spectators. Why are you citizens? You are citizens because you are watching over the road. You do not want people to take over the resources of this country. So
oral was an easy access as compared to Yoko. And
no. What I'm saying is that it is an office for complaints to be lodged. I've worked in Shrag. as an investigator for 10 years. People could choose to come to Chirac to lodge their complaint or go to other areas to lodge their complaint, like social welfare and other human rights institutions. Do you understand?
Yeah, but the records Oral received within the period indicated that people would want to go to Oral rather than go to CID or go to the U.
People have had the experiences.
Is that how it made the institution to look like?
No,
like it would be difficult for anybody to come to you as compared to a certain institution that is supposed to be...
The president under the Constitution can set up an institution for investigations and anything. The president can set up. He has the power to
I'm okay, but I'm looking at the accessibility. The fact that Oral received certain amount of...
It's a choice. No one was compelled. Yes.
As compared to when they would have gone to...
Yes. Sometimes people have the experiences. The experiences that I went to CID, the way they are handling the case and so on. I can tell you something yesterday. So they will find other institutions. Sometimes people use other institutions to report on their behalf. When I was an investigator with Chirac, clearly we don't handle criminal cases as per our act. But people know that when the case is taken there by Chirac, they get proper attention. They normally come to me or the office. Then we write a letter, covering letter, attach the complaint and refer them to the CID because it's criminal. The CID will take time to handle because it's coming from another constitutional body. So there is a monitoring. We'll be monitoring the office and the CID and how the case is investigated. So people were building so much confidence in Chirac that they could use Chirac as a conduit to read the CID or any corrupt institution. Now and again, you see, my brother talked about published names. Look, in this country, we must be serious. We must name and shame. In fact, Honorable, when they were going to do the looting and taking, you were not there. And they didn't consult you before going there. So don't come and defend them. Because you and I get up and came here around 6 to defend those who have done the looting. In fact, let the investigation go on. 20 billion up per the calculations they've done. And this is conservative figures. And these are figures that they just barely put it together. How would you think that the president said he was building a cathedral? 58 million has been sunk in it. Kari Sammons, the man in the US, listen to me, was given $6 million to raise funding. Up to now, the funding has not been raised, and our $6 million is with a US old man, citizen there, chopping our money nyafu nyafu. How would you feel when the Palugo Dam that was supposed to be done, $12 million was spent and nothing was found there? How would you feel when Ghana government paid money to an international company to give us vaccines? As we talk, the vaccines have not come. The money is there for COVID. You think we should leave this money? The railway, we paid $2 million for the Sky Railway. Nothing has come. We should leave the monies there. PDS, they came and then took our energy sector, took monies. They've not paid, but we should allow it to go. Auditor General report alone tells us that 52 billion, we've discussed it time and again, has been missing. The case is even in court because people in court have sent their compelled the Auditor General to come. Even Chairman Sabunsu talked about it. All these things are quantities of 20 billion. Do you know, even at the end of the day, even if we get $1 billion, do you know what $1 billion can do to our roads and even our schools? When in Kumasi, the Asantehene is begging for $10 million to rehabilitate the Konfo Teaching Hospital. When we need less than $1 million to put people who are at the dialysis center who are dying. When we need money to buy vaccines, we are not getting. And this money are in the hands of private people. You think we should lose it? We should all drain it. But let us ensure that it is properly investigated. And if the people are allowed to bring their money, I would want to see a situation where they are allowed to bring their loot and the sentences reduced or otherwise. Because want the money more than. The same thing we did to the ambulance services, the procurement, you remember? When the supplier said that if we are having challenges with our ambulances, bring them back. I'll give the money back to you. We didn't send them back because we wanted to jail at 2 and that money has remained there. Do you understand? It has remained with the ambulance supplier. But the man said that I'm prepared to give you the money. Return my items to me. You say you will return the item, the money to us remain with the man. Are we sensible?
So in a situation where there's supposed to be a renegotiation, we'd rather do that than...
We'd rather take the money. I would take the money because after the 20 billion, if we even get 5 billion, even 2 billion is big. And I've been citing one thing, and I think you should know it by now. The Kwasi interchange. Have you seen how massive it is? It costs us less than $100 million. The total amount of money there was $94 million. Do you know the number of interchanges $1 billion can do in this country? The other day, we saw on the TV and on your screens, I saw it this morning, of school children crossing rivers. School children crossing paths dangerously. Do you know what $100 million can seal every path that is crossing a river? Some of the children end up dying. And yet this man, there's $6 million that is in the hands of Karisames in the US. You don't want us to go and take it. You don't want the 6 million, KMG, you don't want it. We should not take it. Do you know what 6 million can do for those children who are crossing those rivers? And I think 6 million can build all the crossing rivers across this country that will put concrete structures for children to go to school. These are future people. If money is lost, especially looking at the fact that so much waste that we have taken over. And wait, it is not yet done. When the forensic audit comes in every institution, that is where you see the extent to which public funding has been misappropriated and squandered. Because as we talk today, even GS is owing WAEC to release resource. Look at the quantum of the debts that has bedeviled the health sector. That includes even the education sector. Children who go to school cannot get food to eat. Suppliers to the buffer stock are in debts and so on. If this money is coming, we'll pay our own people. Contractors, road contractors have not been paid. Our youth that were employed as NAPCO people, as we talked, the government owned NAPCO people. National service people, there's still arrears. Hospitals, people are sick and they are lying on the floor. School children don't have what you call furniture. You can name it. Go to our hospitals. It's an eyesore. If we get this money, we'll be able to do a lot for the people. Okay. Extension of even portable drinking water. The Galamsey has destroyed our water levels. We need we need money to clean them. We need to revive dying state institutions and so on. Workers are not being paid properly because there's no money and so on. Arrears are piling. Contractors, suppliers, you name them. And yet the country is broke. As we talked this morning, we cannot borrow $1 from the international market because of our precarious situation. We need to reach certain levels so that the debt to GDP can be brought and make it proper. So if internally these monies are hidden under the beds of people and other people have used other means, why wouldn't everybody applaud? Because first of all, Oral did not do any investigation. They were only recipient of complaints and where they had to go there fiscally. And they handed it over to the president to be handed to Attorney General. Remember the vetting? The Attorney General was told, and he quoted the Constitution and said that the work of Oral is predicated on the provisions of the Constitution that ensures that you and I should fight against stealing of public property. So as I talked to you this morning, the CEO for Ghana Supply Commission, yesterday I went to DVLA to tell them that he forcefully bought the BMW that has been given to the CEOs under false pretenses. He said it was accident, it was no accident, and so on. So STC has done that. I went there to report so that they can stop registration of the vehicle until the proper investigations are done. So that if indeed he deserves it, you're a public officer, you are leaving office with all the perks, then what is left for your predecessor? You want to take it away. When your own president said,
but there's an opportunity for public officers after you serve
I know that
2 to 4 years.
Yes,
the vehicle that you use 2 to 4 years.
Yes,
you can STC can
value it. I know all that. But there are some of them.
So it's not entirely wrong. Because sometimes what we realize is, even there are people, most of your people who are taking offices now, some went to office and say, I will not use the vehicle. It happens all the time.
Yeah, but
and even the office still use. I know as it stands now, there are various institutions, people have gone in and they are changing everything, chairs, tables, they are removing everything from their institutions and refurnishing the whole place. That is a cost to the state. So if the person going out, there's the possibility of the person
follow a certain procedure.
Yes, follow, and then it doesn't really.
Oh no, but that is not what
anything.
I'm talking about, and I know that. You know there are some vehicles they cannot auction them.
In this case, it's a vehicle that they have to keep.
I'm coming. The one that you are supposed to pay and at the appropriate time is auctioned to you, it is also indicated on your.
Normally, the saloon vehicles.
Yes, it's indicated on
you can never, no government appointee can purchase a four-wheel drive.
I'm coming.
But the saloon vehicles like BMW, Toyota, saloon cars that you use for a period of 2 or more years, they can value it and then.
Yes, it's part of the conditions
of under that. The
let me come, please. I know what I'm saying. It's part of your conditions of service that they'll say that you'll be using a saloon car, maybe it could be a Camry or so. Then that saloon car, they will say that at the end of the day, they will value it by SEC, like you said, then you pay for it. No one is talking about those ones. But there are other saloon cars you cannot buy because that one is specifically meant for the office. What you are supposed to buy, they state it is part of your conditions.
No, the one you use.
I'm coming.
The one you use.
So if they were buying, the BMW wasn't part of it.
Then which one was he using?
He was using it as the official car.
Yes, but that is how
if it was so, those who bought it in 2015 would have bought it.
Most institutions,
the vehicle was acquired in 2015.
Most institutions have it as part of their policy. That the vehicle that the CEO uses,
not saying yes.
The chief executive
should have bought, the one who bought it should have also used it.
So maybe that person wasn't interested in buying.
No,
yes,
it's not
there are. I'm privy to institutions. Honorable, I'm privy to institutions that after the tenure of the chief executive, even when the board had offered the vehicle, he used it for a period and returned and said, I don't need it.
No, that's a different matter.
And it was even a BMW.
That is a different matter.
I'm privy to a lot of these. So when we come on set, when we come on set and try to demonize public officers and political class.
Why?
You are here. You are urging that you get an appointment to get into government.
You know that as members of parliament, our Land Cruisers will pay for them. Don't you know that? Who will tell you that when you are going, you shouldn't send your Land Cruiser? Who will tell you that? But if there are official cars you are using, are you supposed to send them home? It's different from what you are saying. We all know it. It's as easy as ABCD. And that is stated. So if you are saying that by 4 years can be valued, and I was there 4 years, why didn't he value it to me? That's why I'm saying there are some of them, even though they fall within that, they are not the cars that are categorized under the terms of when you end your term, it will be sold to you. As I talk to you now, listen to me carefully. Listen to me carefully. STC, you know who is there. You are forcing me to say it. You know who is there. You know Akumia is there. Do you know that Akumia is there?
He's not still at post.
He's at post.
He's not.
If he has left there, is this morning.
No, he's not at post.
I want to tell you something.
He's not at post.
I want to tell you something.
He's not at post.
Akumia is using what do you call it? A V8, which is 2 deputies. From the information I have, is that I think the board also, the institution agreed that they should be paying when they are going to go with it.
Okay.
You understand? No one will have any problem with that. But even though it's a 4-wheel, and we know that 4-wheels are not sold to anyone. But then see, once the institution agrees, and it's part of the conditions, previously it wasn't like that, but when you went under his tenureship, he was able to arrange that. And if they agree, no problem, quite to be documented.
He's not here and I don't have the facts, so I don't want to speak to it.
Please, you don't need to speak because what I've said...
You see, let's be careful. Let's be careful of putting out information. I don't want to discuss it. Then later he'll come out and say, I'm not holding any vehicle and all those things.
If he can,
we were defaming him. No, you don't have to say it and later say
you've been
if
talking
it's not
about
true.
Other public officers.
I have not mentioned any public officers.
I'm not even talking about.
No, I've not mentioned this program. Since I started here, I've been very careful.
You've been talking about JM and other officers in other programs. I'm not talking about you. Were they there to respond? But they are public officers. Don't let us treat our public officers as if they are private officers. When they are pretending over our resources, then you come and say...
No, but you are making an allegation about the man now, which I don't have any facts with. But has the information been verified?
If you don't have, I have the information.
It's not been verified.
You cannot prevent me from bringing it out.
It's not been verified.
No,
this is not the platform to bring it out.
Yeah. This is an information
that they gave me.
Who gave you information?
From where?
Why? Why would you? I'm not obliged to.
No, I understand, but I'm just asking that.
Please.
No, you
said an insider, but these are speculations.
Yes, that's what I'm asking you.
Yes.
Is the person who gave you the information the one who still told you that it's still a post?
No. You know, there was a news item, I think recently he gave an interview, and I even thought he had left. But they still put the managing director for, I think it was on one of your, whatever it is.
Because that's at this moment, I'm not sure anybody...
He's not there. He's not there. So if he's speaking somewhere and somebody puts a byline that if he's not managing director, it could be a mistake.
It's not a crime. Because we are supposed to leave. If he's not there and I'm saying he's there, it's not a crime because there are still some officers who are still there now. Officers of your government are still in some offices. Some of them were locking public offices. No, they didn't want to go away. Took away the keys. So if it's not there, it's not a crime. I think the
only issue that I've come to know about is the issue of the SIC.
Yeah.
Where the lady felt it was a listed company and it was not purely 100% public, and that there were other people who had shares. And based on that, the shareholders, they had to have an AGM and all that. That's why she decided to send it to court to test the laws of our country in determining whether a listed company, the CEO is supposed to leave outright or yes. And eventually, I think they met, and then had discussions, and now she's left. Yeah, but most institutions that I know, most
sat there, and when we are
all of them,
and they went and met them.
Okay, we'll come back, but let me
after
engage.
This, I will mention others. But one thing I want to say very clear.
No, I'll come back to you. I'll come back again. We'll get to that conversation and wrap it up nicely. Let me just engage our viewers a bit. This one over here says that that's a lot. It says, good morning, gentlemen. I'm here to emphasize the importance of Operation Recover All Loots under the Mahama's administration. First and foremost, it's imperative that we acknowledge the magnitude of the corruption that plagued our country during that era. Billions of cities were embezzled, and it's our collective responsibility to ensure that those responsible are held accountable. Operation Recover All Loots is not just a slogan, it's a call to action. It's a reminder that the assets and resources stolen from our country must be recovered and returned to their rightful owners, the Ghanaian people. We cannot afford to sweep this issue under the carpet. The lootings and embezzlements that occurred under the previous administration have had a devastating impact on our economy, our infrastructure, and our people. It's time for us to take a stand and demand that those responsible for those crimes are brought to justice. We must support the government's efforts to recover all looted funds and assets, and we must hold our leaders accountable for their actions. Let me be clear, this is not a partisan issue, it's a national issue. It's about justice, accountability, and the rule of law. We must put aside our political differences and work together to ensure that those who have looted our country are brought to book. I urge all Ghanaians to join me in demanding our government takes concrete actions to recover all looted funds and assets. We must be vigilant and ensure that those responsible for these crimes are held accountable. Okay, that's a long one. Let me move to others and see what we can read from them as well. This one says, good morning, Mr. Host. These NPP people, I don't know how they take Ghanaians for. It's like at all costs that they should live better than others, and none of them has justified that all these looting matters against the Kufuor's appointees are false. We will live to see the damage they have caused the nation. Leave Mahama to do his work, and that is why we voted him, not you, from TT. All right, let me move on to the next one. This one says, good morning, KMJ. Please, those who don't want oral should keep quiet for investigations. The allegations are too much, and Ghanaians want to know the facts. After all, it will clear the minds of Ghanaians. Stephen Opoku from Michelle Camp sent in that. Let me go to Bimbala. Philip is there. It says, good morning, KMJ. What is wrong with the NPP guys, and what is the difference between if you see it, say it? A report has been given to the president, and AJ is here to work on it. If you are not a victim, why worry? That's Philip in Bimbala. Let me go to Tamale. Good morning, host. I am Sayubi Awuni in Tamale. Viewing your station in the mornings, I have come to a conclusion that it's only a micro of the NPP fighting oral and all other initiatives of the 30 days of the Mahama presidency. Please tell them. I bet that they will be disgraced more than the outcome of the recent election. I will not be surprised seeing only 71 NPP MPs in parliament next election. What is happening in and outside parliament is sad. I pray NPP will change for their own good. Now, Another one over here says, good morning, KMJ. We had CID, Shraj, Yoko, NIB, SP, and the like. What significant achievement or value for money did we get from them? Shame on them. Oral is the treatment for our sick, failed institutions. And that's Simon sending that through. Let me go to this one. Moses of Accra says, good morning. Ghana needs incorruptible leaders to govern this nation. I believe that if we get good leaders, they can develop this nation to prosper, to benefit all Ghanaians. I urge President Mahama to protect the public purse by ensuring that oral report is investigated and ascertain the facts which must be implemented by the Attorney General, and those who are found guilty be prosecuted and recover all they have looted to serve as statements. Ghana first. All right. Let me go to Al-Hassan Sisse from Zeno Central. He says, oral is good if only the government can retrieve all looted properties and funds that belong to the state back to the state. If I may ask, what then happened to oral information garden for the state attorney general for prosecuting future leaders? That's a question mark over there. Hamza is in Pig Farm. Let me go to Hamza in Pig Farm, and it says that, good morning, my brother. I totally agree with Honorable Timothy. Government must make sure all monies belonging to the state must be collected and not to jail them. Sometimes you jail them for them to return from jail to enjoy their booty. Let's be truthful to ourselves. The country is broke and we need monies to invest in capital projects in this country. I will this morning call on the Speaker of Parliament as a matter of agency to wake up and deal with the members belonging to the micro-minority group who wants to undermine his authority in the House. The rough behavior of the micro-minority is becoming one too many, and the earlier he does something about that, the better. KMJ, please call the NPP man to order. He should allow his colleague to speak. This is not Parliament. You should respect your viewers. Okay. Kefri Pong says, good morning, KMJ. Oral is solely a political witch hunting committee. Not to say if anyone has done anything wrong, he or she should walk free. The AG will now decide if the case is submitted to him, hold water or not. Through vetting, we all know those living on state lands. So how do you tag a buyer as looter, someone who has bought a land and paid for it? Let's get serious. They should rather ask the Lands Commission why those prices coming from a man who claimed was gifted a free land. Has he evaluated the land price which he didn't pay a penny for? If Nana Aidoo was a clearing agent, how should we describe a president who is clearing people who are already in court? That is a super clearing agent. Mohammed's 1 month achievement is certain of committees everywhere. Okay, let me go to this one over here. It says, good morning, KMJ. My good people of the NPP can't have anything good to say about oral. So far, not even a single one of them had spoken positively about oral, and that clearly tells them tells who they are. NPP, as we know, for 8 good years had all the prosecutorial mechanisms or machineries to actually prosecute and jail all these people. Should there be any concrete evidence, but they have done absolutely nothing, just because these cases lack merit that the taxpayers' money has been used for all these. So while you want President Mahama to continue with this wasteful process, and that's Toby Banini inside Keta. Okay, let me go to this one over here. It says, good morning, host. Please let the NDC and Ablakwa explain to Ghanaians the forged document he produced where the agreement between Ablakwa and the landlord is in March 2017 while the owner bought the property on 15th December 2017. What a disgrace. There's a new medicine in town called Afinyo Bitters. Anytime you take it, your wife will take care of you. The chief clearing agent of the day is now going to prosecute people. Honorable Afinyo is a landlord. Now in Ghana, every small thing, they set up committee to eat into our money. Even reduction of data bundle, they set up committee. Ghana will rise again coming 2028 when MPP comes back to restore trading allowances, free SHS. Ask the NDC man to explain why BEC candidates are to pay 550 Ghana cedis for registration for the first time in 7 years. Why? All right, so that's Good morning. When you start with the propaganda, you end up insulting the people who voted for you. Just as we saw in 2016, the president should never create any impression that he inherited a power crisis. We had a stable power for 8 years, so the claim that they have averted a looming doom, so it's a very big lie. Please stop it. We won't accept it. I can Kufuridia, and it says Dr. Kwasi Aidoo purchased a Ford Expedition, a presidential convoy at only 6,000 cities. What has the overall team done about that? This one says, good morning. It's very simple. Mahama is now the chief clearing agent. Why won't you allow them to go through trial to prove that they are innocent? Surprisingly, all the cases involves NDC members, and the president has decided to clear all of them. Richie P. Techiman sent in that. Let me go to this one. It says the overall team is just for a political expediency, and nothing good will come out of it. Who is more corrupt than the current president and the NDC members? Just wait and see in the coming days what this NDC government have for the good people of this country. Aziz Bayo from Wa sent in that. Let me go to this one over here. It says, good morning, host. Oral is not prejudicial. They have no power to investigate. Citizens have the right to report suspected ills to police and even to our elders. Ghanaians that had got a chance to serve. This is the time we must stop. Wrong is wrong. Redevelopment doesn't mean land should go to politically exposed people. If there are NDC, MPP, etc., all we are saying is, please, it's not a good practice from here. If you do it, Ghanaians are saying we take it for the nation's growth. Oro can ascribe to any citizen if it's to give information about a wrongdoing. The report is first followed by investigations. Abuaji in Obuasi sent in that. Let me go to this one. Good morning, KMJ. Why is the NPP folks afraid of Oro? We, the youth of Cape Coast, are suffering. Or we voted for change to stay calm and let Oro work, or better still, return what is not fully yours. Kojo in Cape Coast sent in that. Good morning, Joy Prime. And the NPP man, this is Abdul Ganu Makeringu, Savannah region. He says, Ghana stands at the crossroads of justice and corruption. And sadly, the current administration under President John Dramani Mahama has chosen the latter. Now, the recent move by Attorney General Dr. Dominic Ayine to file nolle prosequi and withdraw corruption charges against the NDC figures is a betrayal of the fight against corruption and a direct assault on the rule of law and the future of Ghana. The rector's decision has set a dangerous precedent, one that undermines the very foundation of justice and governance in our country. The Attorney General's decision to drop these cases is nothing but a political cover. The individuals who were facing prosecution were not ordinary citizens. They were people accused of causing financial loss to the state, money laundering, conspiracy to commit fraud, and abuse of public office. These were not politically motivated cases. They were based on concrete evidence gathered by the law enforcement agencies and prosecuted under the previous government. Those are some of your messages this morning. Continue to send us more of those messages. We'll be reading all of them, and on Facebook as well. We'll say a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise, Still Phones, Papa Pathie, and they've made it possible for us to have this conversation this morning here on the show. Please do go there and get something for yourself. CCTV cameras, televisions. We've got also refrigerators as well, and you can buy accessories, phone accessories from us. Once you do so, trust us, you would be guaranteed of quality. Our branches are all open this morning, so do go there and get something for yourself. Now, let me get back to the studio and then wrap up on this very issue, and then maybe we can touch on the Kumasi fires as well and see what we can do with that as well. Maybe your last concluding comment on the...
MJ, I listened to my honorable member speak about the Japa case.
Yeah.
And it's quite interesting. Anybody who has followed, there's this thing called the prisoner's dilemma in game theory, where investigative bodies and attorney generals and so on, they use in building their case. So what they do is they put two people together, two rational agents together. And these agents can come together to support their case for mutual benefit by collaborating. But then they will put you in different rooms and put things at you. And then eventually, if you betray the other person, then they get prosecution out of it. This is done is used by most investigative bodies worldwide. It's called the prisoner's dilemma. You can check it out. So the Japa instance, when I saw it the first time, that was what came to mind. That is one of those prisoner dilemmas that these investigative bodies use all the time. And today, I'm happy my honorable member, his party is in power. Some of the things they say, some of the things they allude to. You see, we are building a democracy. And in building a democracy, we have to be cautious some of the things we put out in the public. That is why even in parliament, in other places, you swear oaths of secrecy and so on. Because the citizenry put to the sovereignty resides in the people, but it is not everything that has to go out. And if we are not careful, we would demonize public service. We will demonize the political class. And it will get to the point where no citizen will have trust in any political class. That is not to say that when people are wrong, we shouldn't call them out.
And that's what I was about to say, that
when people are wrong, we should call them out. But then the Constitution also provides for the rights of those people. We shouldn't be fast to prejudge them. Because that was, like I cited earlier, if you look at the PNDC era, the Rawlings time, today, when we look back upon hindsight, do we think it was justified that those judges were murdered, those judges were put at the Teshi shooting range and shot and killed? I remember when President Kufuor came and they did the National Reconciliation Committee. I remember the verdicts, the atrocities that people came to talk about. They are still clear in our minds. And most of these things were done because of speculations. People suspect that somebody owns this, somebody has this. People were lined up in Kumasi Central Market and whipped because they were traders and the government of the day believed they were making too much profit and so on. Today, if you are to put people by the same standards or to put people by that litmus test, a lot of people who did those things will fail. They will fail. And in the same vein, today, some of the things that people are talking about, give them 4 years, they will fail that litmus test. And it has not even, we've not even gone the mile. Look at Honorable Kujeto Ablakwa when he came before the vetting committee, claiming that he resides in Airport Hills in a rented facility where we know that Airport Hills, their lease agreement is tenancy is tenant occupied, where they don't rent buildings. And now I've seen another document that he has posted that from Finale Limited, the owners of Airport Hills, that his own he was made a tenant, and that is a contract. And then they are saying the building was bought by a foreigner. The land was bought by a foreigner, and then the foreigner rented it out to Honorable Kujeto Ablakwa. But if you look at even the date of the lease, and the rent, the building was rented to Honorable Kujeto Ablakwa before even the person acquired the lease. The dates are different. Okay, some of these things bring question to the point that, is the honorable member peddling some untruth? Is he being open enough? Because they say he who comes for equity must come with clean hands. Okay, when you project yourself to be the most conscious, the cleanest, then you must live up to that standard. You shouldn't have other cobwebs and things surrounding you. But most importantly, let me say, I congratulate the president. It's been about 30 days or more, and he's putting up his government speedily. We are hopeful that things, we wish them well. If things go wrong, we are all in this country, we suffer. If the lights don't stay on, we all suffer the heat. If prices of goods go up, we all suffer today. Look at how petroleum prices are moving up. It's my prayer that they will try and hold these things so that Ghanaians will get some relief, because that was what was promised. It's quite surprising that world market prices of petrol are coming down, and interestingly, the last window prices dropped like about $4, and interestingly, in Ghana, prices are rather going up. The minister in charge has to put things in place so that these things don't get out of hand. But then it's early days. They are still forming. We give them the room. They are still forming their government. They should hasten slowly, and they should hasten carefully, because they have to realize that they have moved from campaign mode to governance mode. The things you said on campaign platform are different when you are in charge. Today, you are in charge. If you continue to be in campaign mode, you say things and then a year will come so soon, and then you realize that you have not done anything. I listened to them saying the previous government took 8 years to prosecute. They say the wheel of justice grinds slowly. And now that you are in power, are you trying to tell me that you use 1 year or 1 month to prosecute or 3 months to prosecute?
You don't see that happening.
You have to go through due process. Even investigation can take more than a year or two to get proper investigation and build a docket that will be sent to the Attorney General for proper prosecution to happen. And when you go to the Attorney General's department, there are a lot of cases on them. So are you going to recruit double the number of staff at the Attorney?
These ones, knowing that it's
very important. You may fast track.
Be looking up for results.
You may fast track. Do we have a fast track court? You may fast track. But then the point is, when it gets to the courtroom,
we have a fast track.
I'm coming. When it gets to the courtroom, you know what we don't realize. When it gets to the courtroom, judges have if you go to the court, sometimes the judge will call more than 10 cases a day.
Yep.
So when they call 10 cases, they'll call your case. They spend like 5 minutes, 10 minutes on your case. They go to another case. That is how you see cases being adjourned frequently. Okay. One thing I'll give to the previous government that they did well was to see to the establishment of a lot of courts across the country, so that once you have a lot of courts and you have a lot of judges and you've employed a lot of people in the judicial sector to work, then it will facilitate a lot of the cases. But then most importantly, you cannot just run cases because you want prosecution or you want to show the public that you've prosecuted people. You have to go through the due process and give them fair hearing. And fair hearing entails a lot. It entails technicalities. I've looked at cases like the Opuni case where a lot of technicalities were used. The cases run from High Court to Supreme Court and back and so on, goes to a point where the issue of the rights of the individual were called on and had to go back to court, and judges were being asked to be changed and all those things. By the time you are done with all these processes, you'll be hitting many years. But then most importantly, what they are trying to tell us with all this clearing going on is that people will get to office, commit atrocities against the state, and then they will find ways to delay their cases in court, hoping that one day, should their government come, they will get clearance. My honorable member spoke about the fact that people were cleared in President Kufuor's time and Akufo-Addo's period and Rawlings' period and so on. Can he cite an instance where a president has come? I have lived my life since I became of age. I saw a little of Jerry Rawlings. I saw President Kufuor's governance. I saw Atamil's governance. I saw John Mahama. I've seen Akufo-Addo, and I've seen John Mahama. But I don't recall in any instance where a president came to office and by the stroke of a pen cleared everybody who was in his government and perceived to have committed any atrocity against the state, cleared everybody of wrongdoing. Look at the issue of Johnson Esiama. When you go into the details, and then you see how he has been cleared and put in a position of responsibility, not just any position. The governor of the Bank of Ghana, it creates a lot of questions on the minds of people. That is why people are calling the Attorney General to, even if not for anything, put some explanation to some of the clearing, so that it will clear the doubts on people's minds that the years that follow, are we not going to see the same processes? And the responsibility is on the government that today you have done oral, I think currently most of the oral cases are about the previous government. But as you are coming to take over, as you start your own processes to put together your government and everything, with time, people will start issuing contracts and so on.
That's what they put in the operation prevent all
power, yes. Yeah, but then here's the question is that you've cleared all your people in the previous.
So you won't have the capacity to stop those.
Where is the moral right now?
To stop those who will be doing it
exactly
whilst in government.
Whilst in government, if you really wanted to show some good faith that you'll be that responsible to even prosecute your people in government, let those who are already in the process go through the process and be cleared by the law course.
Okay, all right. And many thanks to you, Honorable Michael. Let me move to Honorable Atabwade.
It is sad.
Okay, so maybe when you're done, then we'll just move on.
It is sad that when citizens of this country have been put in a lawful constitutional body or a lawful body by the president to investigate rot, people are already nursing fears. If you have nothing, what do you hide? If you are not part of the loot, what do you hide? Some of them have even paid information. Some of them have even called to return their loots and so on. They are not complaining. You are complaining about witch hunt, about this, and about the fact that Okujeto has rented it. What has that got to do? If he has rented, well, is it public money? I can do what I want to do if I get my money. Beyond that, Okujeto is quickly clean. He was before the parliamentary committee, and he has been a deputy minister twice. And as a member of parliament, so I think about the third time or so. So Okujeto can build a house in Airport Hills, in wherever that he wants to. They were talking about rent. Do you know the members of parliament, the rent you get, you can rent a building at Airport Hills.
It's not true. Honorable is not true.
How much rent?
Honorable, any MP who says the rent, Airport Hills, you will not get.
How much is the rent?
Airport,
Okay,
I'm coming, Honorable.
Let me finish because
members of parliament are listening. No member of parliament. Don't put this out. I'm a member of parliament.
You create problem with giving rent.
Since I came to parliament.
I was also giving rent.
Since I came to parliament, the rent that I know of, is not even up to $500.
Huh?
Yes.
$200.
It is not up to $500. Every member of parliament listening to me knows this is right.
But it would also depend on how many years the person.
No. This
So
is
if somebody has been a member of
you are
parliament,
giving for the facts.
I am on it.
TMJ. You are out of parliament. Now I'm in parliament. For the facts.
Please.
Every member of parliament is entitled. Let me correct this. Every member of parliament is entitled to 2 years rent. They don't give you 4 years rent.
That rent you gave
it is 2 years. I'm coming. Is untrue. Is untrue.
Depending on where you are buying the
Honorable
house.
Is untrue. 2 years rent. Less than $500. Less than $500. Yes. Less than $500. How are you going to rent in Airport Hills?
Where the least at Airport Hill?
Do you know the rent in Airport Hills?
How
much do you think Airport Hills cost?
No, but
even Spintex Road, you will not get a full house for less than $2,000.
Did you even disclose to the public that you take rent? You made Okujeto look as if look. In Parliament, when they give you your car loan, when you take the car loan,
he's living the ostentatious life, and then
if I have the capacity to live an ostentatious life, why won't I live?
And it's not public.
It's not public. Why can't I live? We are talking about people who live ostentatious life on public purse, stealing. If I have my power to even let people be carrying me around town and I pay them, is that your matter? If I say, KMG, carry me from here to my house and I can pay you, is that your matter? It's not no one.
But this is where it was established in the vetting that he did not have any other business apart from his office in Parliament and the deputy minister that he had taken position that he had taken.
If you go there,
so how does the individual be able to procure such a place?
The individuals who were not having houses. When you came, they've gone to build houses in Trasaco, whose buildings are big. The building is bigger than everybody's building. You know it. So don't let us go there. So let's continue the conversation. Now, Okujeto is quickly clean. If you have further evidence to accuse that the guy is corrupt or he shouldn't rent there, and then let me come to the issue of the rent and then the car. If you go to Parliament, you are giving money to buy a car, maybe 100,000. I don't know how much it will give now. Now, if the particular specs you are going to buy, it is more than 100,000, you add your own money.
Okay.
So assuming that the particular space you are going to buy is 120,000
and you have given 100,000,
you will have to find the 20,000 and add and go and buy, even though it will be deducted. So also is the rent. If, like, going by what my brother is saying, even if it's less than, let's take it, the $500, And at the end of it, I'm even surprised that member of he's quoting in dollars.
No, because you are talking about East Legon Hills.
Please.
And East Legon Hills is dollars.
They even like dollars.
Yeah, because that place is dollars.
They are spending dollars.
That place is dollars. East Legon Hills.
Tell you they were taking $100 for that.
No, I said,
let me go
East Legon Hills is dollars.
If by the public sector conditions, you know, an MP is a senior public officer, the executive are given buildings. But the buildings, they deduct them from their rent and so on. I think that is how it is done also.
Yes, it's deducted from
the rent. So, for members of parliament, when I came to parliament, we were supposed to be using the Sakumono flats. But my year, when we came...
Which year?
2009.
2009, Sakumono flats were all gone.
No, they were there. Let me talk. They were not all gone. Don't do that.
Because, you know, my father was in parliament in 2001.
Yes, but they were not gone.
And the flats had been allocated to people and sold.
Listen to
me. They didn't have, so they were giving, that was when the rental started to get other places. That's at 2009. There were no flats for...
Is that where you bought?
I lived in Sakumono.
I've not bought it, but I'm coming. Those buildings that they sold are different. Because when we came, Honorable Bagman was the majority. He met all the first year and said, look, those houses are going to be taken and given to the staff of parliament. And that we are going to be giving rent to rent our own accommodation. Do you understand?
Yes, that was the policy.
When we came, there were some members of parliament were occupying, but they then took them and gave it to the staff.
Because they were very small and the members of parliament were complaining. The rooms were very
said that
small.
People came with their families
and so on. I remember.
So that was when it started. Yes. So they gave us rent, cumulative it was for us to go and rent. You understand? Those who had houses invested them in land and other infrastructure, and so that is their own business. So that is it. So if my rent is less than 500, and I feel that I can live at cantonments and it will be easier for me, I have to top up. I'll have
so
to
that
top
comes
up.
From your own pocket?
That comes from my own pocket. I have to top up and then
$10,000 in Airport Hill. So
no.
Do you take even $400 out? It's $9,600.
Don't do that.
No. Our viewers are watching. They are the verdict.
Not true.
Honorable.
Our viewers are watching and they know
something here. And then he was taking me on the issue of the STC. Okujato is not here. But whether he's not here, it's not true. That rent at, what do you call it? Airport Hills. Then what?
Do you know Airport Hills? Please. Close to chain homes.
Please.
Well, it's an expensive place to live, but...
I know.
I also have friends who live there. I have a lot of friends who live there.
Rent at that place is $10,000.
Okay, all right. What's the rent there?
It's possible for an MP to afford that.
What's the rent there?
An MP cannot use his salary while he gets it. But your salary is not up to $10,000.
Exactly.
So if there's an MP is living there, it means that the MP has his funds, and that's why he chooses to be.
But the MP advertising did not establish that he has funds. Even some of them were their wife were taking care of them.
He was not ready to disclose where he has other.
But you are not ready to disclose when you are ready to disclose other people.
Don't let us flout the laws. Public officers are to declare their assets and give it to the attorney. What do you call it? The Auditor General. That is the law. The guy said he has declared his assets and given to Attorney General.
Have you seen it?
Oh, please. You see,
we've not seen any of the others, though. So
but then he's put out people's assets.
No, please. He put up those who have been alleged that they've looted public.
He who come with clean hands.
No. You see, don't do that. You are not helping the people of this country.
We are interrogating.
Invited in future.
We are interrogating.
So the same situation will happen when
we are interrogating.
Takes over.
No, if another government takes over and team has looted state property, take me on. Because we are all having entrusted power. The power we are using is not by inheritance. It's not kingship. It's by the people who voted for us. And that they expect us to exercise that power in goodwill and in humility and respect to the people. And they are going to hold us accountable for what we use the power for. So if you come to power for 8 years and you could not hold me, that's your business. If I come and these are evidences that the public brought. It will go through.
And will be investigated.
And it will be investigated by Attorney General. I don't know the rush about this oral and trying to paint Okujato black and so on. The guy has been...
Is that how you see it, Honorable?
Okay. So unfortunately, I've been told my time is up.
You have not been fair to me. I kept quiet. My brother spoke his heart out.
But you are still on the floor.
I thought you were having a very good conversation.
Then you talked about the judiciary and talked about the atrocities of the PNDC. It is an irony that as we see today, 8 people had to die in Techiman. Ayawaso West, these elections, people die in a democracy. They've never been heard. They've never been heard. The other one was a military mutiny or a military revolution. The issues are kind of like my brother himself talked about. Is
there people died in Ayawaso?
The Ayawaso shootings, no, the main people got wounded. They are still lying out with
but that was
Techiman, 8 people died.
Yeah, even Techiman, it was an escalated issue between the security services and but the PNDC one, people were abducted from their home.
You want
don't compare election.
Are you not the one saying
don't compare election issues to PNDC.
No,
you know, people are still in Ghana who feels the pains of the PNDC era.
All that no be
people are abducted from their homes and killed.
Die. No be so.
No, not every die be die. Honorable, not every die be die.
Disrupted this morning. And the judiciary, you had your members of the invisible forces enter into the judiciary when the pregnant judge was certain. They have to whisk the judge away. All these things are an affront and an assault on the independence of the judiciary. And especially at the time, it was being led by a constitutional lawyer and all the laws that he has. People were talking about the judiciary because it even seems the judiciary had everything. How can you compare a pile of cases there? When you were ordinary member of parliament to go daily trials, yet those piles of cases, you've left them. What were we going to gain from Jechikwesi's trial? When people, according to you, for instance, all the cases that we are clearing, they've committed sins against the government of this country. You had 8 years. You couldn't send them daily trials. You were asking Jechikwesi to go over daily trials when the issue of Sagleme, Cocoa Board, Bank of Ghana matter was there, and these were things that were dear to the president of the people of this country. Go ahead. You are talking about Addison who has left office. Yes, he's yet to be investigated. We don't know what will come out of it. Whether the crimes that Dr. Siama has committed can at the same level be juxtaposed to Dr. Siama. We have to see the investigation. That's why I tell you that.
He has been cleared.
That's why you remember who has been cleared? Addison.
Dr. Siama.
Now, you remember the issue of the security minister, Kandapa, saying that the judiciary, if they seem to be giving the unanimous decision to the current government, and without not giving some to the other parties, it creates security problems. I didn't say that. The security minister said that the unanimous decision that is being given by the judiciary under this current government poses a lot of security problems and so on. We can go on and on. But you see, when we can, let's discuss the issue. If you go into Google, what happened some years back, even with the reconciliation of the former president, Kufuor, and use them as today's case, we are moving forward. And 8 people died in Techiman.
Okay.
Not even one investigation was conducted on them. The people of Sal, someone used a pen to...
But Honorable, are you aware there was a report on the Techiman and people were even giving compensation?
There was no report.
There was. During the vetting, it was put to the Attorney General that people were compensated in the Techiman. So if you are saying no,
okay.
That's why I said move from campaign to governance.
The 18-year-old boy who died.
If you are saying that compensation was not enough, fine, but don't say there's a report on Techiman.
The president has asked the IGP to investigate. Let's say a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprises this morning for making it possible for us to have this conversation. Honorable. Okay, Honorable, your microphones are off. Big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprises this morning for giving us the opportunity to do this here on Newsflash. And also this Valentine's Day, escape to paradise at the Westin Serene Atlantic Hotel. Indulge in a love-filled escape this Valentine's Day and serve the delectable Valentine's Day dinner with your loved one. Experience ultimate romance in our luxurious rooms and designed for love, just for you and your partner. Create an unforgettable memories with your loved one at the Westin Serene Atlantic Hotel. Our Valentine's Day package will include luxurious accommodation, romantic candlelight dinner for 2, bottle of champagne, and many more Valentine's Day treats that we're giving you. Now you need to book your Valentine's Day escape today. For reservations, please do call 031-200-2700. It's 031-200-2700 or 050-333-000. 050-133-1884. That's 050-133-1884. You can also call 050-133-1886. 050-133-1886 and book your spot right now. As the Valentine's Day Escape, Western Serena Atlantic Hotel is putting this together. Now you can also do your reservations at westernserenaatlantichotel.com and you're good to go. Now we're doing something special, the Miss Photogenic, and we've asked people to send in their love experience, how they got involved and all of that. And we've got some very, very interesting entries, very interesting entries. Yesterday we read some of them. Today we'll be reading more of them. But, it's going to be a beautiful time. So if you want to make your way to Western Serena Atlantic Hotel, please do come. You meet all people who have been involved in the promotion. They'll be there. You can come and join them, and we'll have a good time together. I mean, it's going to be one of the beautiful things that you experience this Valentine's Day celebration. So you're not going anywhere. Make sure that you come to... Part of what? Please. Your love life after how many years now?
No, life has no end until death do you part. In fact, when you are growing older, it even becomes better.
How did you meet your wife?
You want to? You now want to ask me?
Yeah.
You now want my photogenic?
No, how did you meet? Do you remember? You still remember?
I think I remember.
What happened?
I think we were in secondary school.
Hey.
And then, I was in Sanma Secondary at the time. And I think he was also in a girls' school in Bolga Bogis.
Okay.
So normally, sometimes they will come on holidays and we will be there in school. Or sometimes, we come to town. There are always, off days for students to come to town. They don't wear our whites. And then come to town, we just roam in town, buy some few things and go. And they will also come. So it was during that course of... And we met.
Okay.
So are you okay with the photo?
I'm okay with it.
What of your photogenic?
But let me say a bit We'll go to Western Serene together. Don't worry. We'll go together.
Newsflash was brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fie.